What's good, YouTube? AJ Hova checking in once again, and today I'm going to be coming at you with some more sound advice, some very cold game that you're going to be needing on your self-improvement journey. Stay locked in, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below what you think of the dialogue. Now, let's get into it. Why do they say that fools and money are soon parted? The reason behind the statement is because foolish men spend money like children, and that's what we're about to get into. So, along my journey, I asked one of my mentors once if he could tell his younger self something about how to spend money, what would he tell him? And he told me that the only difference between a man and a boy is how much he spends on his toys. And this is profound because it does actually make a lot of sense, right? So a man would rather spend $200, $300 on a tool bag, on a skill set, right? Versus a child who spends $200, $300 on some Jordans, right? Some trendy shit, or a gaming console. And what's the difference between these two things? What the man buys, a tool bag or a skill set, those are things that can affect the future. Those are things that if he spends time with, he could learn something that he could use later. Conventional, functional skill sets that he could use later, right? Versus what the child bought. Trend, something trendy. Trends, they come and go, do they not? It's impossible to keep up with every trend, right? Or a gaming console. How many countless man hours is that child gonna spend on 2K, on GTA, right? And that's gonna do nothing for him. He's gonna learn nothing from those things, really, right? And that brings me to the next point. Men understand that it's about how you spend your time more than it is how you spend your money, right? Who spends more time doing things that are conducive to growth? That's what determines who the top performers in life are. Men understand that they're forward thinking, right? They pay attention to how what they're doing now is going to affect the future. If they introduce themselves to somebody, based on their introduction, they are already thinking about, okay, what sort of conversation can I have from this specific sort of introduction, right? Did I casually introduce myself? Did I introduce myself in a funny way? With a joke attached to it? Did I introduce myself with, business acumen attached to it? What all can we now talk about? What can stem from this introduction, right? And men don't mind sacrificing the now for the later. They have no problem going, a month, like their fridge looks a little light on groceries because they're saving for a big trip. They're trying to go to a convention and they're going to network. They don't mind sacrificing a couple parties. They've been spending their time learning a skill set, right? Or they're taking up in the trade. They started going to trade school, taking night classes or something. That's the difference. They understand that it's more so about how you spend your time than it is your money, right? And that brings me to my last point. Men are very cognizant of the sequence of events that follow the action that they take right now. They're acutely aware of what follows whatever action they take, right? Because they're storing this information for future decisions. Bluntly. So an example. Guy makes a decision at the beginning of the year, he's gonna start working out more, right? He buys him some dumbbells and he buys him a workbench, right? And he paid attention to how often he actually sticks to that shit. Because this is gonna dictate whether or not he buys more equipment for the house, or he realizes that, okay, no, I need to force myself to go to the gym because clearly I'm too comfortable in this specific environment to actually put in the kind of work that I told myself I was going to be putting in this year. That makes sense. You buy the toolkit. He's fixing a hole in the wall. But does he actually spend the time learning how to use everything in that toolkit for later? Does he spend time on YouTube learning how to use a monkey wrench, learning how to jack a car up and change a tire, learning how to mount a TV? Does he spend time actually learning how to do these things? And that's another point. If he spends his money on a course, does he actually take the time to learn everything in it, right? Or does he read a couple pages of it and think, oh no, this is too much, I don't feel like learning this all, right? He pays attention to the sequence of events that follow any purchase that he makes, because that's what dictates what all he's going to spend his money on in the future, versus him just spending money on something here, you know what I'm saying, not really using that shit for what he said he was going to use it for. And instead of doing the work on himself, or I need to like holding himself more accountable, he just keeps spending money on stupid shit. This is just some cold game. And the reason I'm recording this specific video, I know it's the season of summer, right? Season of bullshit bottles and fake flexing trips and shit like that. Bruh, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, you spend all year working, you spend all year in school, and you want people to think that you got it, right? You want people to think that you're on something. And that makes sense, right? That makes sense. But you need to know the difference between spending your money like a man or a child, and you need to know the difference between enjoying your youth and destroying your future. And I'll leave you with that. This is all just some more cold game, some free game that you're gonna be needing on your self-improvement journey. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, on your self-improvement journey, keep your chin up, your chest out, and always keep it pushing.